Well, the story process was really a process of unearthing more layers of myself. It's very powerful, very transformative, and really healing. Well, if you're not embodying your story, you're just speaking words. So you're just telling. But through the embodiment, it just comes through you. You're more a vessel and the story flows through you and it's an expression of you. So it's completely different because you feel it instead of tell it. And that in itself is also very healing and transformative. It's hard to explain. It's one of those things you have to, I would say, live into. It's an experience.
I feel like I show up better in the world, first and foremost for myself. I'm not going to leave that little girl behind anymore. And it makes me think of all the other little stories that I have inside, that through them I can share with others and just bring connection and healing to the world.
I kind of knew what my story was, but it's never been written this way or communicated this way. What was super interesting was embodying it and putting it into first person and actually taking myself back to all of those moments. And the biggest learning for me was actually sitting in the joy of it all. I have done the work through the grief of everything that had happened, but it was the joyful moments that for the first time, I was allowing myself to feel.
So this time around, the story allowed me to own more of what I stand for next than the last one did. It's more of a historical processing. So this one is really allowing me to feel what the next parts of it or the next part of my journey is about and stepping into more what I stand for.
I thought for a moment or two I didn't have a story, but then it was very compelling to me that I'm living my story. Every step of the way, the process we did just brought me to the core of who I really am and what's enduring in my life. I do feel at the threshold, and I do feel, yeah, that was my intention, really was. I was saying I was in the kind of the cocoon into the soup, and then where's the butterfly? And I really begin to see that expansion of my being, that expansion, which storytelling does.
Through this process, I've really come to see the power of sharing the story authentically without teaching. So there's a lesson in that story without having to add in all the teaching bits. That's one of the things I really gained from this. And then the fact that each story, while unique, has threads woven through it. So there is a connection for everyone that you tell that story to.
What I find so amazing about story is that you can go back to the events and sort of relive them, but relive them from a transformed space. And you can witness what you went through at that time. And you feel the emotion for yourself. So it's a very healing process.
And I definitely hit my intention, which was, be known for my true, authentic self. And I am now. And showing up in the world, I always believed in, the expression, the world is a stage and we're all players in it. And I used to show up differently in different places. Well, it's going to be a new world for everybody when I start showing up, because I'm showing up as me everywhere.
Well, I learned that I knew nothing about storytelling. How they say a picture says 1,000 words, and I still thought you needed 1,000 words to paint a picture. And I learned you do not need 1,000 words to paint a picture.
I just chuckle when I think about, feeling like originally standing kind of at the curtain and not on the stage, and really feeling like through this program, I definitely have stepped fully onto the stage and into the light. And it's brought a boldness to me, which is needed. I feel very connected with a fluid part of my feminine, but really getting this solid part of my feminine, almost like the masculine aspect of my feminine intact with me, which I see in a lot of you women. And I think, it was something that I longed for, but felt disconnected from. So it's really awesome to feel that connection where it's I feel the substantive presence in myself that feels new for sure and feels awesome. I just hope that I can use my voice and cultivate story to continue to offer that, as well, in my life and in my work.
Do you see how it is a threshold? And how now it's about leading with your story. It's not leading with, it's through your story, you guys. Take it with you as your leadership. It is what leads and guides. It's what calls people to you, but it's also what reminds you to stay present.